Howdy, Jacob here. Today we're looking at Northwest Natural Holding Company, ticker symbol NWN. So first thing, 4.95% dividend yield, above our 4% that we're looking for in this screener. $1.5 billion market cap with a $2.7 billion enterprise value in the gas utilities industry. So a good amount of net debt here, almost double enterprise value as market cap. Looks like they provide natural gas distribution services to residential, commercial, industrial, and transportation customers in Oregon and Southwest Washington. If we look at growth for the company, 759 million in 2013 to 1.037 in 2022. But if you look between 2013 and 2019, they actually declined in revenue. Return on invested capital really low, 3%, pretty consistent with the gas and utilities, other gas and utility companies. So the long-term debt in 2012 was about 692 million, and it has increased up to 1.24 billion. So again, nearly double the debt, and cash on hand is only 29 million. So the not the most attractive balance sheet from a liquidity standpoint. And then we look at a 5-year average free cash flow, it looks pretty great. We see maybe 150 million average with a $66 million payout. But what I'm thinking is that there's something wrong with the way this website is pulling this data. I feel like what's in this other should probably be in capital expenditures, because it seems a little strange that CapEx went from 213 million down to 4, and then back up in the most rolling 12 months to 330 million. So something tells me that they actually don't consistently produce cash flow, because if these are cash from operations, these are actually their capital expenditures, then it's not looking great on a cash flow perspective, and makes sense why the company has been going into debt every year since 2017 to fund a dividend that they can't afford. And again, there's two ways to fund a business: issuing shares of stock or issuing debt. And you can see they've actually been doing both almost pretty consistently since 2017. So we have 4 years of share issuance to fund acquisitions and dividends, and then also issuing debt. So, I mean, again, if we look here at their cash from operations, it looks fantastic, but something tells me that these values are actually part of capital expenditures, and the way it was pulled into this website is just a little wonky. So I think I can start making some assumptions here. I mean, they can't afford this, so let's just divide by 4, just because, I mean, the company has been raising they've been raising their dividend per share for a while now, and I mean, they're gonna keep faking it until a lender says, "Hey, we really need this money back," and then they're gonna be forced to cut a dividend or sell some property and equipment or whatever they may do to liquidate some assets, because their liquidity is very shoddy in comparison to their long-term debt. As for revenue growth here, it is in the utility business, so I usually like to go 3%, 13, just because unless I really see something different in the business, 3% growth should be relatively in line with inflation. And most of these utility companies have like almost monopoly in the areas that they serve in. I know in my area, Nashville Electric Service has a monopoly of all electricity pretty much in the Davidson County area and outwards of farther counties. And so just having these utility companies can be advantageous from an investment standpoint, in the essence of having a essentially monopoly over your region. But they just don't have a huge return on invested capital. So everything that they do reinvest into the business we see most of the time we look at cash flow statements is that their capital expenditures grow as fast, if not faster, than their cash from operations, which just is not a super attractive look for a business that I'm looking for. As for margins, maybe we'll do 8. Again, these free cash flow margins are shoddy because they don't. These are basically cash from operations, since the website I was using didn't really incorporate the uh, capital expenditures correctly. So I'll probably just do the same for that. We've been issuing a lot of shares, so maybe we'll do 4% share issuance, and then that gets us to a price that needs to fall quite a bit, about 61%, before we get a 15% return. Given these assumptions, again, this is the type of business that just doesn't produce free cash flow, or very much free cash flow, in comparison to earnings. And I definitely like it the other way around. I want their free cash flow to be gushing out money and them allocating cash intelligently. Whereas here, they're going into debt to pay a dividend, to reinvest in the business, to reinvest into property and plant that's costing more than what it's actually giving them in cash from just operating. So I think this is definitely a company I'm just going to be waiting on, and I'm not super interested in it based on the cash flow statement. But if you're more comfortable with these types of businesses and understand them better, props to you. And I hope you enjoyed the video and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.